great and staying absolutely safe as well. उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सब बहुत शानदार होंगे. Please do let me in the comment section if I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. क्या आप मेरी आवाज clearly सुन पा रहे हैं? If yes, please do let me in the comment section. चलिए, it's perfect to have so many people out there. Hi Solomon, hello Pooja Dreams, Bunty Suna, Saira, everyone. But class has started already, so don't worry about that. So today, what exactly are we going to do? As we had discussed yesterday, हमने जीएस पेपर 2 कल डिस्कस किया था. आज जनरल स्टडीज का जो पेपर 3 है यूपीएससी का सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जाम का, दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव टू बी डिस्कसिंग. द क्लास हैज स्टार्टेड, तो ये हमें डिस्कस करना है. एंड लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, कि दिस क्लास अगेन इज गोइंग टू गिव यू अ प्रॉपर पर्सपेक्टिव इनटू इट, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डू फेस डाउट्स इन दिस रिगार्ड्स, एंड आई विल ट्राई टू मेक श्योर कि जो भी आपके डाउट्स हैं उनको मैं क्लियर कर पाऊँ. है ना, ऑडिबल है ना? चलो बहुत बढ़िया. I'll try to be clearing all your doubts, so that if and when you're going to the examination hall, you should be very well prepared in this regards. ये एक proper idea आपको होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, and that is what we are going to do. Yeah, so the first and foremost thing is you have to be very much clear in this place first of all. Yeah, you have to know two things, of course. One thing is what exactly is the syllabus, syllabi क्या है. Second thing is from the syllabus the type of questions which are being asked where in the mains exam. Yesterday also we did this thing. Okay, in the mains examination, what exactly are the type of the questions which are being asked? As simple as that. So, and this way is what we are going to achieve. We are going to achieve a good level of clarity. But firstly, tell me this thing. Yesterday I gave you a homework. You remember that homework? Did you do that homework or not? IDSA का article किसने पढ़ा है? Did you guys do that particular homework or not? Please do let me know. Everyone out there. Very basic point this is. So I hope yesterday you did the homework. Everyone out there. किया कि नहीं किया ये बता दो honestly. चलिए ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. So I hope I'm clearly audible to you guys, right? मेरी आवाज तो आप तक पहुंच ही पा रही होगी, उम्मीद यही करता हूँ. एक मिनट. It's better. So चलो कोई बात नहीं, अगर नहीं भी किया होमवर्क, ठीक है, there is no punishment for you guys fortunately. But I gave you an article and trust me that article is very much important. ब्रिक्स समिट को ना बहुत अच्छे से उसने डिकोड किया है, and मुझे ऐसा लगा कि if you read that particular article, it is going to help you guys in understanding the nuances which are involved. These days, BRICS, as we always say, that what are the alternatives to the United Nations? What are the alternatives to these institutions dominated by the Western powers? कहते हैं ना, अमेरिका या डेवलप कंट्रीज जो हैं उन्होंने डोमिनेट किए हुए इंस्टीट्यूशंस, तो उसको कैसे ब्रेक करोगे उनके डोमिनेंस को? बंटी, yesterday I gave you the homework. See yesterday's video and you will realize what I'm trying to say. So anyways, my concern is simple, that you should be reading quality stuff, be it any book, be it any article. आप quality stuff consume नहीं करते हो जब, तो मतलब it becomes very difficult for you to increase, or I would say rather broaden the horizons of your knowledge. Because ultimately what matters is that what all you have studied, what quality stuff you have studied before appearing in the examination. Because वहाँ पे examination में जब questions आएंगे ना, तो आपका वो जो quality stuff जो आपने पढ़ा हुआ है वो झलक जाएगा वहाँ पे. You can't bluff in the exam. I'll be very honest with you. ठीक है, prelims is a different ball game altogether. In prelims, elimination plays an important role. Prelims बिना पढ़े भी लोग clear कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मेंस को बिना पढ़े clear करना is next to impossible. या next to impossible क्या, impossible ही है, चांस ही नहीं है बिना पढ़े आप clear कर दोगे मेंस को. या ये मेरी बात याद रख लेना, ठीक है. I have been in your place. I have been a beginner at a point in time, at some point in time, and from my own experiences, this is what I have realized, that we may think that answer लिख लेंगे, but वहाँ पे जब वो question पूछेगा ना कि recent trends in international relations connected with the BRICS, evolving role of BRICS, evolving role of BIMSTEC, evolving role of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, तो वहाँ बैंड बज जाती है। क्यों बज जाती है बैंड? क्योंकि हमने उसको उस कंटेक्स्ट में पढ़ा ही नहीं है। लोगों ने ब्रिक्स को पढ़ा कि हाँ ब्रिक्स की ना मेंबरशिप हो गई है एक्सपैंड, बहुत अच्छी बात है, पर भाई मेंबरशिप एक्सपैंड होने से क्या हुआ है, ब्रिक्स के मायने क्या है, ब्रिक्स का रोल क्या है आईआर में, ये सब चीज़ें जो है अनफॉर्चुनेटली नहीं पता अगर, तो फिर वहाँ पे दिक्कत हो सकती है। सो मतलब दिस इज़ अ वेरी जेन्युइन एडवाइस विच आई वुड लाइक टू गिव यू ऑल। यू नो IDSA वगैरह के ऊपर जो आर्टिकल्स हैं, हिंदू के जो एडिटोरियल्स हैं, उनको आप अच्छे से पढ़ें, एंड जब आप पढ़ेंगे तो आप खुद रियलाइज़ करेंगे कि आपकी जो नॉलेज है वो काफ़ी ब्रॉड होती है, काफ़ी एकदम स्मूथ ये चीज़ें जो है वो आप एग्ज़ाम में निकल कर आएंगी आपके कलम से, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। एनीवेज चलिए, एनफ ऑफ दिस ज्ञान, आज का जो टॉपिक है हमारा उसके ऊपर आते हैं। ठीक है, GS पेपर 3 की हमने बात करनी है, कल पेपर 2 की बात की, GS पेपर 3 की बात करनी। तो सबसे पहले तो हम लोग क्या देखते हैं, देखो UPSC सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन का आई होप सबने जो मतलब नोटिफिकेशन सिलेबस दिया होता है वो देखा हुआ है। वैसे तो मैं सिलेबस पहले जब पेपर को डिकोड करने की बात आती है तो हम क्या करते हैं, सबसे पहले यही काम करते हैं कि हम लोग सिलेबस को प्रॉपर तरीके से एनालाइज करते हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। सो GS पेपर 3 के अंदर क्या कंपोनेंट्स है पहले तो देख लिए जाएंगे, है ना, बिकॉज उसके बिना तो हम लोग कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते इसमें। व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट द सिलेबस पार्ट, व्हाट ऑल डू वी हैव, वी हैव इकोनॉमी का जो पार्ट है, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, इकोनॉमी में लिख देता हूँ। ठीक है, ये लो इकोनॉमी है हमारे पास। और क्या है हमारे पास, हमारे पास है बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड एनवायरनमेंट, तो मैं एनवायरनमेंट लिख देता हूँ। ठीक है, ये लो हमारे पास एक है भैया एनवायरनमेंट इसमें। और क्या है हमारे पास है इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, बड़े प्यारे टॉपिक हैं। क्या है, इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, और क्या है, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट। ये लो जी, सिक्योरिटी है, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट है, एनवायरनमेंट है, इकोनॉमी, और क्या बचता है हमारा, आई थिंक साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी भी है। ठीक है जी, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। तो कुल मिला के इफ यू आस्क मी तो आई से कि हाँ ये 5 चीज़ें पढ़नी है इसके लिए, तभी ये काफ़ी डाइवर्स क्वेश्चन पेपर बनता है। इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट और साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, 5 चीज़ें, पंचमेवा। तो आपको इंडियन इकोनॉमी के जो इश्यूज हैं उनको पढ़ना होगा, इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ, इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट, गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग, मेजर क्रॉप्स, क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न, मतलब काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें छोटी मोटी, तो ये सब आपको पढ़नी है। सर इज इट इन, हाँ उसी की मैं बात कर रहा था सायरा, लेकिन अगेन what I wanted you guys to study is the dynamics related to it, what all is changing, how exactly it is impacting, ये सब चीजें हैं। Is that clear? So that is what I wanted to actually tell you. So that particular thing you can learn better only by reading quality stuff, quality articles वगैरह पढ़ोगे तभी मजा आएगा। ठीक है, और मैं वही आपको बताना चाह रहा था कि आपको खुद रियलाइजेशन हो जाएगी कि भाई मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ। अभी आपको ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि मैं ज्ञान दे रहा हूँ, बट ट्रस्ट मी, देखो सिंपल सी बात बता रहा हूँ, 2020 मतलब 2017 2018 ऑनवर्ड्स क्या हुआ पिछले 6-7 साल में, या 7-8 साल में बोल दो, प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ डिजिटल, ये जो मीडिया है, या मैं बोलूँ कि अगर ऑनलाइन कंटेंट है, ये बहुत ज़्यादा है। तो जो स्मार्ट बच्चा बैठा हुआ है, वो गाँव में बैठा हुआ है, वो अच्छी तैयारी कर रहा है। पहले एक टाइम था कि कंटेंट की बहुत कमी थी, तो बच्चे नहीं पढ़ पाते थे, बच्चे तैयारी नहीं कर पाते थे, बट अब ऐसा नहीं है। तो कंटेंट की अवेलेबिलिटी की वजह से जो स्मार्ट बच्चा है, जो स्मार्ट एस्पिरेंट है, वो क्या कर रहा है, तैयारी कर रहा है। तो जब वो तैयारी कर रहा है तो आपको उसको बीट करना है। तो आपको उसको बीट कैसे करना है, आपको थोड़ा सा और स्मार्ट वर्क करना होगा, चीज़ों को और बढ़िया तरीके से पढ़ना होगा। देखो इसमें तो कोई शक नहीं है, हर साल आप देखो बच्चों को पता चल गया आंसर राइटिंग करनी, वो आंसर राइटिंग खूब कर रहा है। सो दे आर बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर स्मार्टर, एंड इन ऑर्डर टू बीट देम यू हैव टू बी अ स्टेप अहेड, राइट। उसके बिना तो काम नहीं चलेगा। ये बात मतलब आप मुझे ये बताना कि जो मैं बता रहा हूं क्या आप मुझसे एग्री करते हो कि नहीं। आई होप यू गाइज आर ऑन द सेम पेज ऑन दिस। ठीक है, आई एम योर वेल विशर, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दीज थिंग्स। थैंक यू मानव, थैंक यू अंकुर। सो अल्टीमेटली व्हाट आई वुड वांट इज कि आप सब लोग एटलीस्ट इन सब चीज़ों को दिमाग में रखते हुए ही तैयारी करो, बिकॉज तैयारी को कभी बोझ समझ के मत करना। तैयारी जो है आपकी, ये एक देखो आपकी कैसी एज है, इसमें जो भी आप करो आप इंजॉयमेंट के साथ करो, और तैयारी भी इंजॉयमेंट के साथ ही करो, मैं तो ये आपको बोलूँगा। मतलब और तैयारी इंजॉयमेंट के साथ जब आप करोगे ना, व्हेन यू प्रिपेयर इन अ वे दैट ओके यू एंजॉयिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, ट्रस्ट मी you are going to perform tremendously well. Because whenever we do something which we are good at, and whenever we do something which we want to do, actually, we are going to do well, no doubt about that, hai na? So try to do it. Try to apply this thing and you will see the magic happen. Everyone. Saira, basically, bete, again, we are decoding this and I'll be bringing important topics to you. We'll be doing that. So that's why I'm saying, masterclass you have to be attending. There's a link which is there and the link is there in the description. So please do click on the link for registration purpose. The link hai, please click on the link and do register for that class as well. Everyone. So I hope you guys can see, I can see in the description box, you have got the link out there so you can have a look. Got it? Chali. I hope now we are on the same page. Clear hai? Chali. Moving ahead. Okay, Sri Krishna, I'll definitely convey it in English. No worries. So basically, what I'm firstly going to do is, whenever we talk about this particular paper, that is GS paper 3 of UPSC Civil Services Examination, hai na? What all are the things you got to be focusing upon? So, as I've already told you, 5 main components, we'll try to decode them and then we'll be talking about what are the kind of the questions which are being asked. Firstly, you have to understand, whenever I talk about the economy part, economy, very important aspect economy is. In economy, they'll be asking you about various issues related to the economy. It can be, growth, resources, a lot of things. Even budgeting is important. So let me tell you, bete, they have asked you beautiful questions. Even this year, they asked this question in 2024. This year means, what are the kind of the questions which are being asked? Firstly, let me tell you this thing from economy. They told us to examine the pattern and trend both of public expenditure on what social service. So basically, the public, sarkar ka kharcha, public expenditure on social services. That is what they are asking you to analyze. Public expenditure on social services. But in which period? In post-reform period, 1990s onwards, they are asking you about this. So to what an extent this has been in consonance with the inclusive growth. So has it been in a line of achieving the inclusive growth target or not? So they have told you about the time period 1990s onwards and they've asked you to connect it with the inclusive growth. So now what is more important is that in one question, you are required to focus on various aspects. Public expenditure on social service, this time period, inclusive growth, all these things are being asked in one single question. That's important. Getting it? So again, you have to have a good background of concept building. Only then you can answer such questions. I hope you agree with me on that. Then they asked you the question, causes of high food inflation. So how can we control that? So basically, there was a beautiful question which was there on food inflation in India. On food inflation in India. Why it is high? How can we control that? How can RBI control that? Monetary policy initiative, all that. That's of course important. Then they will ask you some static questions also. For example, they did ask a question on land reforms in India. Land reforms in India. Now that's a very static topic, right? But they asked you the factors responsible for good implementation of land reforms in some part of the country. So they did ask about their implementation. In some part it was good, in some part it was bad. So this again is not a question of a lot of analysis. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. You can't do much about it. As simple as that. Is that clear? So I hope you're trying to decode this particular thing, that from economy, what they're trying to do is you need to know the facts like these and you need to have a good concepts ka base And how do you merge 2-3 concepts together is again going to answer that whether you're going to do well or not. It all depends on this. So I hope it's absolutely fine. समझ आया कि नहीं आया ये बता दो. Are you understanding this aspect? Everyone. So see, again, that's what I'm saying ki you are not supposed to do the rocket science. These are very basic things. You stick to the syllabus. Like you know, in GS paper 3, you have to have questions on economy. So these are the kind of the questions being asked. Next time they may ask you some different type of questions. These are basically small. वो होते हैं ना 150 words वाले 10 markers. These are small questions. These are. I'll also tell you in the 15 markers, you know, what are the kind of the questions being asked. For example, they may ask questions like this time. They did ask questions on the labor code. There were questions on labor codes, labor market reforms. That is quite important. And that is why, you know, since the questions are being asked, so you have to prepare yourself for that, which is very much important. Simple and straightforward point this is. Is that absolutely fine? Now, I take you to some other concept which is there in the economy syllabus only, that is related to the agriculture. So, having said that, yes, Bunty, directly, indirectly, it definitely comes. I agree with you. Now, there's a topic related to the agriculture part. Agriculture. Keep on noting this down in the notebook so that you have a basic idea. In 2024 question paper, we had a lot of questions directly, indirectly from the agriculture part also. You know, cropping pattern and farm subsidies, all these things. So you have to understand this thing, that whenever we talk about this aspect, they asked a beautiful question. It was related to the millets, because last year was all about the millets. So that's why they had a question which was related to the millets. Now millets pe what all they can ask? Simple question was there. What is the role of millet in the nutrition security or health security in India? So you have to understand this thing, millets ka role. In that, you know, significance, benefits, you all have to be focusing on that aspect, which is very much important. Then they did ask a beautiful question, which was again, you know, directly, indirectly relating to this only. But then again, a lot of times you may find that question is not directly related to this, but in a way, it is very much important. You know, 15 marker question mein, they had challenges faced by Indian irrigation system. They had questions on Sinchai system irrigation, Indian irrigation systems. Very important. ये बात याद रखिएगा. Indian irrigation systems. So what are the measures taken by the government? So you have to link it. They also had a question, buffer stocks. You know, buffer stocks, like the government have procurement so that the agriculture prices, they are not very much volatile. Simple सी बात है. Storage of the food grains. So buffer stocks पे they had a question. Question on buffer stock. Very important. So you have to know, you know, you have to decode this particular thing, that how in the first place can the questions be asked, and how in the first place you're going to be answering these questions to the bestest of your ability, which is of much importance. ये बात आप ध्यान में रखिएगा, बहुत important चीज़ है. These are very important things. Very good. Yes, absolutely, Sarah. All the aspects are important, but they're coming. So I hope everybody is on the same page on this. Okay. So I'm just trying to tell you that from agriculture part, you can have these kind of the questions. Of course, there are variety of topics which can be touched in the future, no doubt about that. Like they can ask you questions about transport of agriculture commodity, marketing of agriculture commodity, or e-technology to aid the farmers. There can be question on subsidies, minimum support price, public distribution system, or even, you know, food processing is a very hot topic. यहाँ पे, what is the scope of food processing in India? What is the significance of food processing in India? Location, upstream, downstream requirements, supply chain augmentation, supply chain management of food processing sector is certainly very much important. Simple point. So you are supposed to be answering these things based on your knowledge. And from where do you acquire knowledge? Again, I come to that part only, from quality stuff reading. You have to be reading quality stuff. You come to this class, you learn a lot of things. That is what is going to gain you confidence. So make sure, you definitely do visit that masterclass form, which is there in the Google form, as you can see in the description. You go to description, you'll find that, and do fill that, because when you fill that, it is very much important. आया समझ में? So I am hopeful that this helps you get a lot of understanding. हाँ जी. Any particular doubts you have? Yes, I'll certainly say that, Bunty. देखो, what is land reforms? What are land reforms? Firstly, understand that. When I say land reforms, bete, I basically refer to this basic thing that we are trying to give surplus land to the people who are landless. There may be people who don't have land. So if somebody is having surplus land, from them we can take away that surplus land and give to someone who don't have the land. So that is what the land reforms crux is. But unfortunately in India, except West Bengal and Kerala, where the communist parties were strong, we didn't see the land reforms being that a great success in various parts of the country. So that's a different thing, but I hope it's absolutely clear. So what is land reform? This is what land reform is. जी, ठीक है. क्लियर हो गया? Perfect. And I'm very much sure about one thing, that you have understood now the precise idea what I'm trying to give you. Everybody is understanding things precisely. Okay, Chali, that's good. Now we'll be talking about some other aspect, like infrastructure investment models. This is again a very hotshot topic of this GS paper 3. So I'll try to talk about that also. Infrastructure and investments. This is very much important. Infrastructure investments and everything. So how do we look at it? This is important. So try to decode this particular thing also, because again, you'll be having a direct question being asked from this as well. So like this time, they had questions on toll collection on highway. Now, this is a very interesting question. In 2024 itself, we had a question on toll collection, which is there on the highways. You go on the highways, you have toll collection. That was a topic, proper topic. So what they were asking was what is the technology being employed in the toll collection? So of course it's a question of science and technology and infrastructure and everything. So वो बहुत important है. This is certainly very much important. Then they had a beautiful question, what role do environmental NGOs and activities and various activists play in environmental impact assessment? This was a beautiful question. Various examples you have to cite. This was a question, and that is again a very important question, I would say. So, but more importantly, you have to understand that whenever the question comes, they can ask you a question on the air connectivity in India. Udan scheme, air connectivity. So, air connectivity in India in relation to the Udan scheme, they were asking this question as well. Very important question. In fact, if I talk about 15 markers, they had good questions on that also, because again infrastructure and these are very much important topics. But for example, border area mein infrastructure ke upar they can ask question. All these aspects. So basically, what are they going to ask you about the infrastructure in India? Road infrastructure, infrastructure of the ports, different questions can be asked. So basically, you have to have a proper idea about various infrastructure which can be related to the energy, railway, roads, ports. This is what is expected out of you. ठीक है? Of course, air भी है, वो तो मैं लिख दिया. So this infrastructure is very much important. So you have to have a basic understanding on this parameter. Let me tell you one thing again, GS paper 3 is very, very wide, very, very diverse. Don't forget that ever. जो GS paper 3 है ना, the kind of diversity is massive. So you have to prepare yourself accordingly. You need to know about the infra, you need to know about science and tech, disaster management, internal security, दुनिया भर की चीजें. And that is why GS paper 3 is a challenging paper, because you have to do so much under the sun. Anything can be asked in the examination, you have to be very much smart. How do you answer that? ये चीज हमेशा याद रखना. तो GS paper 3 थोड़ा सा tricky paper है. I understand that, and I acknowledge that fact. But then again, that is totally up to you. How exactly are you going to be answering that? J. Is that clear? All of you. So I'm hopeful in this context that you are understanding these ideas. That's one thing. And you are in a position to have a proper clarity on them. That's another thing, which is very much important. दोनों जो चीजें ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है. ठीक है? So can we move ahead to the science and tech part? What are the kind of the questions they are asking on the science and tech part? That is important, because that gives you the mentality of the UPSC, the commission, that where exactly, from where are they forming those questions, which is of course quite important. So we'll talk about that as well. I hope it's okay. And let me be very clear in this regards, that we have to have a basic understanding on these points as well. I hope I'm clearly audible to you guys. ठीक है? Just hold on. There was some issue on my end. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry. Just hold on. I'm audible to you guys. आवाज तो आ रही होगी. Just hold on. Anyways, let's first of all talk about what all are the kind of the questions. Anybody who would like to contribute? Science and tech में, what are the kind of the questions they are asking? That's my question. Now I told you about the toll plaza question. That was also a question which was of infra and science and tech both. Why? Because in a way, what were they trying to do? They were trying to ask you about the technology being used for the toll collection, fast tags. So they were asking you about the fast tag technology. Simple point. है ना? In a way, they are trying to check your knowledge on the fast tags. So in a way, you are supposed to know about the fast tags now, because it is being widely used all across the country now. It is being used widely. So that is what the question was. So I hope now at least you have this thing in your mind, that whenever the question comes, how do you answer that? That is very much important. So having said that, let's hold on. I just need to tell you that from science and technology, they're asking about the tolls which are there on the highways. Toll collection के लिए what technology is being deployed or is being employed, whatever you may call it. That's the kind of the question they are asking. What are its advantages? What are the limitations? Okay, and how can we make the process seamless? All these points are there. Is there any potential hazard? It's actually a very nice question what they are asking you. Other than that, what they are doing is they have asked about the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, because it was in a lot of news. Digital ऐसे था ना, Personal Data Protection Act. It was again in a lot of news. So yeah, you have to know it. We have to know about that as well. Definitely very much important this is. So I hope I'm making some sense out of it कि आपको ये चीजें समझ आ रही हैं, they are definitely very much important. So yeah, we have to link them, we have to be very much clear in this regards. Any particular doubts? Social media and encrypting messaging services, it's a big security challenge. This was also a beautiful question. Social media में we have got security na encryption and all. So how encryption works, you have to know about that. So they are asking you about the modern technology application all over. Uske upar questions are being asked. So yeah, they will be asking about this modification of DNA and gene editing and all. This definitely is important, but then again you have to focus on how technology is being used in various fields in India. Especially they will be asking questions on the space tech, new space tech, Gaganyaan and all. You should know the nuances of it, the basic nuances. We'll be doing in the class, don't worry. So in a way, you are supposed to be very much smart when you understand these things, when you analyze these things, because that way is only you're going to have a good deal of understanding. Simple point. आ रही है समझ चीज की नहीं, मतलब simple points I am talking about, मतलब no big deal we have. ठीक है, I hope it's clear. Any particular doubts in case you guys have, you surely can let me know. Of course, scientific concepts we have to do. Yeah, Saira, you can take the screenshot, bete. So, in 2024, we have seen these themes predominating: toll collection, data protection, social media. So they are trying to also check that how how much you are aware that your personal, when we talk about the liberty or your privacy, how can you protect it from that technology which is literally invasive. It is omnipresent. Everywhere you have technology present. So how do you protect yourself? That is again a question which is worth asking from yourself. So that's very much important. ये भी important है बहुत ज़्यादा. ठीक है. So I hope I'm making some sense out of it. Everybody is trying to understand the various aspects which are involved. They're very much important, right? So now, all in all, what I would like to tell you is that what is the correct way to prepare? When we talk about GS paper 3, GS paper 3 is most dynamic, as I have already told you, and what all should be the sources for that. ये तो आप भी समझेंगे कि ये tough है. So first of all, again, I would always suggest you guys to be, whenever you're preparing for GS paper 3, sources में, again, newspaper is going to help you guys a lot. Newspaper, why? Because see, from newspaper only you're going to learn immensely. It can be internal security things, it can be related to new technologies which are coming, new issues which are coming up. So you will be in a position to have a better grip at these topics if you're going through the newspaper on regular basis. For economy, what I would suggest is, वो आती है ना 12th की NCERT, 12th class की NCERT on macroeconomics, you can be doing. Simple point. Economic survey, so you have to study, no doubt about that. And textbook of environmental studies which we have. Any particular textbook you can pick. I won't be naming any certain textbooks. It's absolutely your discretion. जैसे भी आप पढ़ना चाहो, you can do that. So try to incorporate, Yojana, Kurukshetra in your perspective. That's certainly important. Yojana, Kurukshetra, very much important. But I'll certainly tell you, see, you should make notes always syllabus component wise. For example, if you ask me about this particular exam, about this particular topic, so what I'll suggest you is, you simply, ध्यान से सुनना, what you have to do one thing, you simply have to focus on very simple point. What I am going to tell you, and trust me, it is not that difficult. कोई बहुत ज़्यादा टफ ये चीज़ है नहीं, बहुत बेसिक सी चीज़ है. For example, you just bifurcate this subject when you're making notes. of GS paper 3, what are you going to do is very, very simple. You have some sheets of science and technology, economy related, anything you have separate. Then you have internal security related thing that you can put separately. Simple point. In fact, what I'll suggest is economy को agriculture से भी अलग कर दो. Agriculture related, environment related, you can do it separately, right? और क्या बच रहा है? Disaster management. So disaster management related, that's it. That is what you require to do. So these 6 components you can have. You can't have GS paper 3 uniform notes. What you can do is you can just bifurcate your notes. Saira, you getting it? Everyone. So if you bifurcate your notes, that is going to be effective way of revision, and you keep on adding those papers. Anything from internal security you read, you keep on adding one paper in that. ठीक है? और copy को divide कर लो, whatever suits you. So it can be, 10 people will have 10 different opinions on that. I can't comment much. So you have to do that bifurcation part very effectively. समझ आया कि नहीं आया ये बता दो. Everyone, I hope you guys are understanding this point very much precisely. And again, what I'll suggest is that don't take this examination as a burden. Try to enjoy the process and you'll certainly be reaping all the benefit. It will be easy for you, Sarah. Definitely it will be easy. You do it that way, no? And try to do it and you'll gain what I'm trying to say. Simple है, बहुत simple है. Yeah, that's very much it. Clear है? सबको? So now we have decoded successfully GS paper 1 to 3. Now I'll be bringing up, the classes on particular topics. We can have a class on the land reforms, we can have class on science and tech, we can have class on space. So we'll be doing it here and the master class also. So make sure you fill in the form which is there in the description box. For the master class, you can surely fill it so that you can successfully join it. अच्छा तकदीर, बिल्कुल 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 सही बात है. सायरा बहुत अच्छा लिखा है आपने. गुड, वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस. सब्र करो, बिल्कुल सच बात है. उस सब्र के अंदर मेहनत होनी चाहिए एंड मेहनत आपकी एकदम वो होनी चाहिए, चुपचाप वाली मेहनत. लेट योर रिजल्ट मेक ऑल द नॉइस. चुपचाप मेहनत करते रहो. दैट्स व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट. ठीक है? मेहनत में हल्ला नहीं करना. मेहनत सही डायरेक्शन में करनी है. मेहनत हैज टू बी स्मार्ट वर्क, मेहनत हैज टू बी हार्ड वर्क, बट देन अगेन you have to keep on working hard and trust me, very soon you will be getting the success, because unfortunately most of the people lack discipline. It is not just the game of intelligence, it's also the game of discipline. So if you are disciplined, you are bound to clear that. See, on the app, basically Zoom classes, the master classes, they are from 8 to 10 p.m. ठीक है? YouTube की classes are at 7, as you all know. Yesterday also I took, है ना? And tomorrow again we'll be having at 7. So tomorrow again we have a class. Sunday we won't be having. So I hope you are in a position to at least understand the gravity of these classes, the importance of these classes, which is very much high. Yesterday's class was important. This class is again important because if you don't know what you need to study, you will not be able to make a strategy and not be able to even start. Because a lot of time people think GS paper 3 is all about economy. No, it is not just about economy. It is much more than economy. It is about all these things. You have to study everything which is important. Science and tech is important, internal security is important, disaster management is important, agriculture is important, environment is important. So all these things you have to do. Of course, economy is important, no doubt, but सब कुछ important है. Yes, GS paper is both static and dynamic in nature. Land reforms topic is static. Toll plaza के अंदर technology topic is very dynamic. All the questions from science and tech will be dynamic. Internal security will be dynamic, but for introduction part you need to have the static idea. If somebody is asking about the insurgency in the northeast, you need to start with the historical context ना. बिना historical context के कैसे answer करोगे? So you need to give some historical context and then you go through the that particular thing. This is important. आया समझ में कि नहीं आया? So that's very much it. Clear? So that's it from my side. I hope you've enjoyed the session. You've gained something out of the session. Okay, very important things in fact, and that's very much it. Any specific questions you have, Bunty, Saira, Solomon, Ankur? See, that's a good thing to say, but then again, I'll tell you something. You don't have to study everything under the sun. You study a lot of things, no doubt about that, but still, you can be choosy, you can be selective about it. Okay, if you know what to read now, your journey is easy. The journey becomes difficult if you think everything under the sun is important. So it's very important to know what not to read. So I'll tell you what not to read. Only according to the demand of the question will be going ahead. If we have to study space, what we have to study? We have to study about ISRO. We have to study about the important space missions. We have to study about NASA and ISRO collaboration, NASA important missions, that's it. If we have to study about science and tech, so we'll study, okay, in the past 12 months, whatever was in news, we'll study that. As simple as that. Because we have to focus on all the subjects, right? Okay. So I like your spirit, Saira. I definitely like the spirit, and I would want that spirit, that Josh in all the students out there. At least, Abhi, I can't hear your voice, but I should be able to see it in the comments itself. The enthusiasm you guys have, which I really like. Yes, absolutely. Uh, what is least? Yeah, I'll definitely tell you what is least important so that you don't end up wasting your time in that. Okay. So we'll see, it's a long journey and I'll be there as your guide and the mentor in that. So don't worry about that. And that's going to be really interesting throughout. So that's it. And thank you so very much. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Take care. Okay.